One of the questions that most reveals our humanity these days is, why are there so many cases of cancer lately? And in fact, cancer cases tend to increase as the years go by. Every day, there's news of someone diagnosed with the disease, often without any family history. To give you an idea, the International Agency for Research on Cancer from the World Health Organization estimated that in 2022 alone, over 22 million people were diagnosed with cancer globally. There were 9.7 million disease-related deaths. In comparison, in 2010, there were about 18.7 million new cases of cancer worldwide, with estimates pointing to 8.29 million deaths that year. And in 1990, a total of about 10.1 million new cases of cancer were estimated worldwide. That is, as the years go by, the number of cancer cases tends to increase in a worrying way. But why? Is there something carcinogenic that humanity is in contact with nowadays that it wasn't in the past? Could it be the air that's getting more and more polluted, the water that's getting more and more polluted? Or could it be technology, like cell phones, antennas, 4G and 5G, which are everywhere and are silently undermining humanity's health? Well, one of the first factors to consider is population growth. Whereas, in 1990, the world population was estimated at just over 5 billion people, and just over 10 million new cancer cases were diagnosed. In 2022, the world population broke the historic barrier of 8 billion people, and about 22 million new cases of the disease were diagnosed. Although population growth is a factor to consider, it is not the only one that should be observed. For example, there's now an increasing debate about whether technology, or too much technology, surrounds people. It's currently one of the main factors for the higher number of cancer cases among humanity. Articles about whether cell phones cause brain cancer explain very well that these devices do not cause cancer, despite the fact that they are usually held next to the head during use. And they emit certain radio waves, which are a type of non-ionizing radiation, meaning radiation that doesn't have enough energy to cause damage to tissues. Although further studies should continue to be conducted as technology advances. Besides cell phones, modern homes can be a real buffet of different types of electromagnetic waves, which are that non-ionizing radiation. That's because nowadays, homes are surrounded by various wireless devices that emit electromagnetic waves. Baby monitors, for example, can even send high-definition images over many meters or even kilometers away. Curtains, gates, lights, cleaning robots, some appliances, among others, can be turned on, opened, or controlled with the press of a simple button. All of this works by emitting or receiving electromagnetic waves. In addition to that, in many homes there are also Wi-Fi routers which are on 24 hours a day, spreading radio waves throughout the house and to various devices. Which raises the question, but could these waves be contributing to more cases of cancer nowadays? Electromagnetic waves are disturbances formed by oscillating electric and magnetic fields that propagate through space, carrying energy. These waves can travel both in a vacuum and in material media, and they propagate at the speed of light. The electromagnetic spectrum is the complete range of all electromagnetic radiation classified by frequency or wavelength. Those on the left side have the longest wavelength and lowest frequency, while those on the right side have the shortest wavelength but the highest frequency. Near the center is visible light, which our eyes can detect and interpret. What this chart shows us is that any wave to the right after visible light is harmful to health and can cause cancer, because it is ionizing radiation and studies have already proven its harmfulness to human health. The ones on the left are not exactly beneficial to human health, nor are they harmless, but no studies accurately show with factual evidence that they cause or contribute to cancer. Since it is a non-ionizing radiation, that is, a type of radiation that does not have enough energy to cause damage to human body tissues. In the case of radio waves, like those emitted by Wi-Fi devices, the human body does not completely block them, but it can interact with them in ways that affect their reception at the destination. The water in the body, for example, can absorb part of the wave's energy, while other parts of the body can reflect or refract the waves, changing their direction and intensity. These waves are even used in medicine and in magnetic resonance imaging machines for the diagnosis of various diseases. Microwaves can penetrate several centimeters into soft tissues, but they are absorbed by the water in the body, thus causing heating similar to what happens in microwave ovens. However, there is also no factual evidence that they can cause any cancer in the body. Ultraviolet, however, does cause DNA damage, sunburns, and skin cancer. However, these waves only penetrate the outer layer of the skin, the epidermis, and are completely absorbed. That's why you shouldn't stay in intense sunlight for long and should always use sunscreen to prevent severe skin damage. Now, anything beyond ultraviolet is already harmful to human health and can, in fact, cause cancer if a person is exposed to high doses or for prolonged periods. That's the case with gamma rays, which are a type of high-energy electromagnetic radiation produced by energetic cosmic events and also by nuclear processes on Earth. Like the radioactive decay of some chemical elements, such as uranium. A peculiar fact about cancer is that it has a higher incidence in developed countries, such as the United States, Canada, Belgium, France, the United Kingdom, Australia, among others, and in developing countries such as Brazil, China, India, South Africa, among others. In underdeveloped countries, as is the case with much of Africa, the incidence rate of the disease is considerably lower. This is very well illustrated in this GloboCan chart about global cancer statistics in 2022, the most recent year for which this data is available. However, it is possible to observe that almost half, that is, 49.2% of the prevalence of cancer in the world is in Asia. This is due to China and India, the world's most populous countries. Right behind is Europe, with 22.4% incidence. Right after that, the Americas, with 21.1% incidence. And right after that, Africa, with 5.9% incidence. And the most common, most prevalent and deadliest cancer in the world is lung cancer. Smoking is the main factor, because there are an estimated 1.3 billion smokers worldwide. That represents approximately 1 in every 5 adults. According to the World Health Organization, tobacco is still responsible for more than 7 million deaths annually worldwide, including about 1.6 million non-smokers who are exposed to secondhand smoke. And if you don't know what secondhand smoke is, it's the smoke that invades restaurants, offices, homes, or other enclosed spaces. When people smoke tobacco products, and long and constant exposure to this smoke can cause cancer. Not only lung cancer, but also cancer of the mouth, larynx, esophagus, pancreas, and bladder. But it can also cause other health problems such as cardiovascular issues, among others. Out of the 22 million new cancer cases detected in 2022, 2,483,001 cases were lung cancer. And right in second place, with 2,308,897 cases, is breast cancer, followed by colorectal, prostate, stomach cancer, among others. The most common cancer among men is prostate cancer, which mainly affects men over 50 years old. And although it is common, it usually grows slowly and is asymptomatic in most cases. And the most common cancer among women is breast cancer, with risk factors including advanced age, family history of the disease, obesity, alcohol consumption, lack of physical activity, and exposure to certain chemicals. However, more recent data from the World Health Organization and the National Cancer Institute reveal that breast cancer is currently the most prevalent cancer worldwide, surpassing lung cancer. What is cancer and what causes it in humans? Unlike practically all other diseases in the world, which are caused by infectious agents such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites, which can enter the body through different routes such as the respiratory tract, gastrointestinal tract, urogenital tract, or through breaks in the skin. And once inside the body, these agents settle in some cell. The virus's genetic material takes over the cell and makes it multiply the virus. Cancer, also known as malignant neoplasia, is a group of diseases that involve abnormal cell growth, able to invade and spread to other body parts beyond the original site. That is, while common diseases are caused by the entry of viruses. In cancer, it's our own cells that fail and multiply uncontrollably, forming masses or nodules that press on organs, nerves, and blood vessels. If cancer is in the lungs, breathing is difficult. In the liver, it disrupts blood cleansing. In the brain, it may cause confusion or movement loss. Besides that, cancer cells steal nutrients from the body and consume a lot of energy, making the person lose weight, become weak, and have less appetite. And to make matters worse, cancer can spread to what are called metastases. Small pieces of it can break off and leave the place where it started and invade other parts of the body, like bones, liver, lungs, or brain, causing even more damage. The vast majority of cancers, about 90 to 95% of cases, occur due to environmental factors. The remaining 5 to 10% are due to genetic heredity. That's according to Wikipedia. In general, and according to science, these are the proven factors or aggravating elements that cause cancer in humans. But first, a quick note. Cancer can be caused by several factors, both external like the environment and lifestyle, and internal like genetics and aging. Not everyone exposed to these factors will develop cancer, but the risk increases when they accumulate. Chemical and environmental substances, smoking. The habit of smoking cigarettes is considered the main proven cause of cancer. This is because of the tobacco, tar, and several other substances present in it. And the greater the number of cigarettes smoked per day, the higher the risk. 2. Ultraviolet radiation. Excessive sun exposure is one of the main factors for the development of skin cancer, among other types of cancer. That's why you should avoid too much sun. 3. Air pollution. The air we breathe in big cities especially contains various pollutants and harmful chemicals. That's because of cars, factories, industrial processes, among others. In addition, living near areas where trash or other substances are frequently burned can contribute to the development of various types of cancer. 4. Industrial chemicals. Coming into physical contact with or breathing in certain chemicals such as asbestos, benzene, formaldehyde, among others, can lead to the development of cancer. In addition, some preservatives such as nitrates and nitrates used in processed meats like sausage and ham can be carcinogenic. Formaldehydes found in cleaning products, plastics, cardboard, fabrics, and smoke are also carcinogenic. Certain agricultural pesticides are carcinogenic. Radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas from uranium decay in soil and rocks, is carcinogenic and found in poorly ventilated homes. Radon is one of them. 2. Genetic and hereditary factors. In this category, we mainly find a family history of cancer, inherited mutations from relatives which increase the predisposition to the development of the disease. 3. Lifestyle. This category mainly includes smoking, excessive alcohol use, poor diet, high in fats and processed meats, physical inactivity, obesity or overweight, among others. 4. Aging. Age is a major factor. Older cells are more likely to have genetic errors. The International Agency for Research on Cancer has a list of all agents that have been scientifically proven to cause cancer. This list is organized into 4 groups, namely Group 1, carcinogenic, Group 2A, probably carcinogenic, Group 2B, possibly carcinogenic, and Group 3, not classified. In Group 1, which contains all agents that have been scientifically proven to be carcinogenic. The list contains more than 50 names. Among them are viruses such as human immunodeficiency virus, which reduces the body's defenses and increases the chances of developing cancer, hepatitis B and C viruses, among others. Among chemical substances, the highlight goes to acetaldehyde, which is associated with alcoholic beverages and is one of the main causes of hangovers. Aflatoxin, which is a mycotoxin produced by species of fungus, is present in various foods. All forms of asbestos, ethanol, which is used in the composition of alcoholic beverages. All agents that emit ionizing radiation, such as X-rays, plutonium, uranium, solar radiation, among others. The list also includes outdoor air pollution, diesel engine exhaust, estrogen oral contraceptives, progestogen, leather dust, which is used in clothing, car interiors, among others, processed meat, soot, which results from the incomplete combustion of hydrocarbons, wood dust, among others. In this list, there are several names such as etoposide, cyclosporin, azathioprine, treosulfan, and many others. These are medications or substances used in various medicines for the treatment of different diseases, including cancer itself, candidiasis, asthma, rhinitis, among others. The list also includes occupations or jobs with a high risk of exposure to carcinogenic agents, such as aluminum production, manufacturing and repairing boots and shoes, chimney cleaning, working with coal, coke production, working as a firefighter, iron and steel foundry, and isopropyl alcohol manufacturing. Being a painter, working with paving and roofing with tar pitch, working in the rubber manufacturing industry, working with hematite mining, being exposed to welding fumes, among others. In Group 2A, which includes agents classified as probable cancer-causing agents, the highlights are malaria, high-temperature frying, bitumens, consumption of red meat, very hot drinks, among others. With high-risk jobs for exposure such as carbon electrode manufacturing, hairdresser or barber, oil refinery, night work, among others. All of these mentioned are probable cancer-causing agents that have been scientifically proven so far.